Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying themselves, waiting in chat. We have what should be a good stream for you today. We have, obviously, Karen is here with me, but we should be doing adaptive best of three. Just a nice, quick, casual stream. Play some adaptive best of three, one of Keyforge's best formats. I know Karen is a big proponent of best of one adaptive over best of three, but I do think it should be good tonight.
I think adaptive best of three is like the perfect casual format. When I'm playing in an extremely competitive environment, I tend to prefer best of one because the implication is like we both know each other's we both know how each other's decks work, and it's sort of like challenging the ability to deck list read, which I think is like another thing. But like hanging out with a friend, I think adaptive best of three is like perfect because you can bring any two decks. It doesn't matter. You just hang out. I was telling you before stream, like I'm going to Baltimore and Julie and I are gonna play an adaptive best of three because so we don't have to worry about what kind of deck we bring.
Right. Yeah.
And I think there's definitely a competitive place for adaptive best of three as well. But I think like in terms of personal preference, like just hanging out, best of three is perfect for me.
I'd agree. Obviously,
I
run Kagi, so
yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed Kagi. Like, I've had my issues with people min-maxing me.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Kagi has still been awesome. You could tell I was enjoying it. I played all my games in like a week.
You played all your games in like 2 days, and then you had to wait.
Did I seriously?
Yeah, and then you had to wait 3 days for the new person to join the pod.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I have timestamps for all the match reports, so if you really wanna, if you want to know the timeline.
Don't publicly shame me. I got my deck.
Yeah, you do. Oh, you do have your deck. Okay, I have a deck in mind as well. I think it's just it's a very fun Dark Tidings deck that I like.
Should I? I'm gonna shoot it to you so you have the link.
Sounds good.
On the Discord. And I'll actually you need to make the game.
Oh, I need to make the game.
So. Yes.
Sounds good. Competitive, normal, show hands to spectators. Password is going to be the usual.
Okay.
And I'll hop into it with our spectator account.
This was my go-to.
Over.
Okay. The game the deck. Oh, God.
Go ahead. I'm just talking out loud.
The deck I'm bringing was my go-to, Archon reversal deck. Before I started playing Laszlo for that. I still think it's very, very good for that format. I just think I'm just kind of enjoying playing Laszlo a lot. But Captaining is it's a deck with a really interesting history.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a power level 5 deck, Coda. So
power level 5.
Pre-errata, it was top 16 in the first Vault Tour.
Oh wow!
And then I bought it from a guy who I will not, probably shouldn't shout out names, and but I bought it from a guy in Germany. And yeah, I wanted the German language deck, but I also wanted a deck that had a couple of the combos in there, but I realized after I got it, kind of how it was one of my earlier secondary market purchases, and that I only realized after how incredibly weird and rare it is, which makes it perfect for a format like this where somebody else has to figure it out.
Right, of course.
It has so many weird combos, and yeah, I'm just so happy to share it on stream, honestly.
Let's see. Okay, I will bring it up on. Make sure the hands are showing. And I'll bring up the card on the stream. If it loads.
Looking at your deck right now. The Murph brings V. Lindholm, the Path Vault Warrior.
I do. It is a Dark Tidings deck.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cards right now. Do you want to say a few words, or do you mind if I go through the list?
Go for it.
Yeah, maybe we'll go through each other's lists, so we're not given any info.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's a cool way to do that. All right, so we've got science with double final analysis, phase shift, theory, or conjecture, which is basically a wormhole. So it's a really lucrative logos turn with a fair amount of creatures as well in the other houses. So just like boom, boom, boom. You can also you've got the grand melee, so both players need to be careful about line formation, which is really good and adaptive. Gives your opponent chances to mess up.
Two of them.
Honor or glory with cleansing wave, which is really neat. Hold fast also plays with that damage. Lord Golgotha sprays some damage with the Zalvadors, giving cap enhancements on all across the different houses, which is really nice. Together is going to let you do some of those combos out of house. You could probably like phase shift into Together during the Science Final Analysis combo, or you could do the Final Analysis for like play Science in Star Alliance. Yeah, there's a lot of like little synergies in here. It also gives you the immediate witch threats of the PI Swevens. I really like this. It's an interesting deck. Am I reading it all right?
You're reading it pretty well. I think kind of the two things that I think you missed was the double Agung, which provides lots, and the Crash Muldoon, which provides lots of house cheating on board.
Yeah.
But no, I think you read it pretty much right. It's a very fun deck, and it does. I've had good success with it in general. I think it's definitely one of those. It's a bit of a sleeper deck for how it's rated.
Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy Dark Tidings more and more. Like it's playing more like AOA for me, like where it's like I'm finding these like really really high performers in an underappreciated set. Like
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna age really really well, and I can already see like it has some answers to Winds of Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be hyper relevant. Like Maelstrom stocks are going up. Maelstrom stocks are going way up.
Absolutely. And stuff like there's lots of really good bouncing and hand manipulation that I think Unfathomable brings as well, and we're gonna see. Obviously it sounds like we're gonna see a lot more of that in Winds of Exchange from Unfathomable.
Do we have a ruling for General Sherman yet with tokens?
Yeah, they purge them.
Like and they never come back?
If they're not a creature, they don't come back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so if there's 10 actions or upgrades or artifacts underneath Sherman,
oh my god,
those are never seeing the game
Wow, my mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Yeah, your Cat Burglar stocks are going up.
Yes.
I don't want to think about that.
Though the creature flood might be rough. I'm worried about the creature flood. But anyway,
at least the rule of 6 applicable. It's small glimmers of hope, Karen.
Only for like reaping and stuff. You can play like 20 of them. There's no.
That is true. Yeah, you can play like 20 of them, but you can because they're not actually played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like Yeah, I don't know. I am worried about that board pressure. I have like a worry for Keyforge from a design perspective that began with Mass Mutation, I'll say, where like I worry about the game becoming like almost entirely board based. Like I think Keyforge is at its best when we're playing like decks of sort of like average creature to average creature to action ratios, like where and like artifacts are their own thing where it's going to be deck variable. But I think like when one kind of card becomes better, like when creatures are better than actions or actions are better than creatures like significantly, I think that implies an imbalance in game design. But I might be alone on that kind of perspective. But that is something that I worry about.
Well, I'll quickly go over the Capitanen. So first things first, always got to look at an Arise. Got some good, got an Arise and a Hysteria. So lots of bounce here. Double Ghostly Hand, Bait and Switch. Double Naughty the Thief. Most powerful Coda card right there.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a very scary possible library access turn. Maybe not the craziest, but I think it definitely looks like it can do some real work. Especially with a Mobius Scroll to tuck away things like the Gateway, the Arise, Charades, Bait and Switch. Lots of very interesting things there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll have to watch out for your Graft as well.
Yes.
Well, we'll start this off. And we'll go... You know, I think we'll go for this. I'll call Star Alliance. I'm gonna raise the tide.
Alright.
I'm gonna play together.
Okay.
I'm gonna play out PI Sweven. I'm gonna play out this, and I'm gonna heal PI Sweven to gain Amber.
Okie doke.
I'll make sure that looks all right. Hey, Zoc, how's it going?
I'm just gonna bounce that.
Oh, you bounced it.
Yeah. I feel like if we're playing it, that means that you can go into logos. Like that felt like you took a really weird turn there. Like, I don't know exactly what to make of it, to be honest with you.
You'll have to watch the VOD and go back and look at it.
Yeah. Or I could just go look at your hands now.
You could cheat. Yeah, you could
I
cheat.
could cheat.
You could cheat. Who says I'm not cheating this whole stream? I'm doing well, Zoc. I don't know how Karen is doing tonight.
I'm doing all right. I am just enjoying the adaptive best of 3. I have nothing more complicated than that. Like I'm like, oh, this sounds like a good way to relax.
Yeah, you know, it's a nice casual format.
Yeah, casual definitely not being an insult, at least coming from me. I love something that I can play a little bit more loosely. I think one of the most casual things about adaptive best of 3 is like it shows you like you have all the information when you're doing the chain bidding.
Yeah.
Like it is stressful when you do it competitively, but at the same time it's just like, yeah, you know, like you've seen both decks, everybody knows which one is better. You're not gonna make some like unbelievable mistake.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Oh man, I couldn't kill it. Couldn't do it. Yeah.
You never let
I couldn't do anything. I had no response.
Gotta be better.
It's definitely a skill issue.
Definitely a skill issue. Put some armor there. Give it elusive. We'll diplomat a gung. We'll just go here. And we'll reap, and we'll deal 2 damage to Cheetah. We'll zap. And we'll zap. Zap.
Okay. I'm gonna go bait and switch.
Boo.
Carlo Phantom, steal another with him.
Pretty good.
Not bad worse.
I'll call Star Alliance. First off, we'll get down Kinkin. We'll reap with this a gung. We'll choose Star Alliance for Sweven, who will reap for it. Reap here. Reap here. Starlines on Australis Seaborg. We'll Reap with the Seaborg. And do I deal 2 damage to your Phantom or your Naughty? I feel like I definitely go your Phantom. And then I think I take your... Yeah, I do this. Play static collection array, capturing 1 here.
Okey doke.
I'm just getting a phone call, so I'll just be 1 second.
Yeah. You've been grafted. I'm gonna use Anomaly Exploiter to knock out the Seaborg so he doesn't get those free pings. Unfortunately, I still can't kill the Sweven, actually. Profitable graft, so at least I'm keeping up in the checking department, but still pretty difficult. Wait for Murph to come back. How many people we got watching today? Just the 3, but we're glad to have you. Trying to think of like what I can reasonably do about this. I think I just have to keep doing my game plan. There's not a ton that you can do when somebody plays like double a Gung and a Sweven and you didn't bring a ton of creature control. But I'll get there eventually. I think the ability to get the graph there was relatively big. It sucks to lose it, but I think I can kind of keep up in other ways other than the board. So I get things going. Got a Star Alliance call from Murph here. He's just going to use the whole board again. Like, it's honestly kind of frustrating just when you don't have a board answer. Dark Tidings is like that. Like, it's just like, if you don't have the board answer, it's just so hard. Okay. I think I'm gonna go Logos here. Okay, I'm gonna draw 2 cards.
You're going back into Logos.
Yeah. And then I can actually raise the tide here.
You can. That keeps me off key.
Fight to draw another card. Use Anomaly Exploiter to finally kill Sweat. Oh my god. Gonna Wild Wormhole a Neurosiphon, which is not bad.
Oh, not bad at all.
I have up to 2 cards. Here. Phase Shift.
That's pretty good. It's a big hand. Oh, you library. Did you library access this turn?
No, I didn't.
I was gonna say, why is your hand so? Why do you still have so many cards in hand?
Because I kick ass at Keyforge, of course.
That is true.
I'm gonna use Ghostly Hand. Get a check down.
Alright. Well, we'll call Sanctum.
Keyforge is God intended.
Keyforge is God intended. Yeah, we'll call Sanctum.
Boo.
First off, I'm gonna grant melee.
Boo.
Gonna raise the tide. I am going to Grand Melee again for nothing. I am going to play Holdfast. Capturing one onto Holdfast.
Damn it!
I am going to play Lord Golgotha. I'm gonna play General Salvador. I'm gonna play Strange Ordination.
Okay. Well, you've left me with no choice.
Reasonable.
Cards. Oh
Not
boy.
my anomaly exploiter. What else? Whatever would I do without that?
Oh god.
You just hit the best card in my hand.
I know.
I mean, I know you have some C in that hand.
You know wrong.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've had some incredibly unlucky draws as of late. Like, not in this game, really, but like...
Just in general.
In Keyforge, like, I just can't draw right now, like to save my life.
Okay, so how do we... Yeah, okay, so we're gonna call Star Alliance. Hear me out. I'm gonna Reap with a Gung and call Star Alliance on Holdfast. I'm gonna Reap with Holdfast. I'm gonna call Reap with a Gung, call Star Alliance on Golgotha. I'm gonna fight with Golgotha into Quixo. And then I'm gonna Reap with Holdfast. And then I'm gonna Reap with that. And I'm gonna Reap with Kinkin. And then I'm gonna take the Tide. And pass over to you. You get a key. You do get a key. Taxed, though. You're not paying 5 for it.
We'll go this.
That's disrespect. That's disrespect.
Okay. I'm gonna play Red Hot Armor for the pip.
Oh, that's actually Red Hot Armor is really good against my Sanctum.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Poltergeist here.
Hopefully everyone's enjoying the stream right now.
Yeah, this is a great game, actually.
This is quite fun.
I think... Do I draw a card or discard a card?
Oh, Karen, that's the... You draw 2 cards off Library Babel.
No, I don't.
You've got 2 of them.
Yeah, but I'm in this, so I'm poltergeisting it.
Oh, you know, yeah. I get you.
Well, I'm playing Poltergeist. I get to get you down to 4 cards. Or...
Do you take me off? Check.
Yeah, I got you either way. On check. I think drawing the card is more valuable. Oh my god.
Oh, I see, right, you can raise the Tide and then...
Yeah.
Charette, I'm guessing.
I got options.
Good options. What options do you have left in this? Collar of Subordination. Gateway. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, well, we'll call Logos. And we will play Final Analysis, play Infomorph, PI Swevin, and I will play Edai to archive a card. And then I will raise the tide. I love a good Tide War, Karen. There's nothing I love more than a good Tide War.
I got no choice but to play along.
13 chains, that's what I like to see.
Hey, it's better than losing.
It is better than that. That is absolutely factual. So we're gonna call. Yeah, I'm gonna call Logos. And I won't take my archives. I'm gonna raise the tide. And first off, I'm gonna reap with Swevin. I'm gonna play Science.
Cool. That's enough. I don't need to. I don't need to see it.
Ooh.
I don't even want to see it.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I was going to phase shift then into a probably a CR Officer Hawkins.
I'm aware.
Do you see why I like the deck though?
Nope.
No, okay. Maybe when you play it, you'll see it.
I have no idea why you would enjoy something like this. It's actually kind of gross.
This deck?
That you would enjoy something like that. Like
Well,
there's something like ethically wrong with it, I think.
I am a degenerate human being.
Just kind of makes me uncomfortable being in the same room with somebody that would enjoy a deck like this.
Yes, it says the prolific Martian Generosity player.
What would Richard Garfield do?
Color game technic.
Get down artifacts here. Oh my god.
I see your anomaly exploiter, and I'll raise you with an anomaly exploiter of my own.
I'm trying my best, but I'm calling it right now. I'm gonna get 2-0'd.
You're gonna
feel it. I could just feel it.
Maybe. There we go. The hands are showing now on the stream. Almost forgot that.
I'll take the tide play.
Don't you dare!
Discard this.
Discarding Grand Melee, yeah. Yeah, reasonable. We know what?
No, I don't.
What? We're gonna call Shadows.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna play Naughty.
Right.
I'm going to smack that Naughty with a Relentless Whispers to kill it.
Sounds like something you'd do.
Yep. And then I'm gonna play Ghost Hand.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna play Science.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Playing Edai with a cap enhancement. We're gonna concentrate on our turn. Play another Final Analysis, because why not?
Oh, I mean, you get a Amber from it for Science, so totally worth it.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes it's worth like holding it, but
You know what? I'm gonna call Shadows. I'm gonna play a Carlo Phantom, and I'm gonna play an Invasion Sigil.
Yep. This is what it feels like to get 2-0'd, folks. This is it.
This is it. Oh, I see why you killed the Edai, because you were just gonna take your archive anyways.
Brobnar.
Oh wow, Brobnar Cheetah?
Yeah, I'm gonna make Cheetah Brobnar.
You're thinking of the evil twin Cheetah.
Everybody elusive, coming ready. Give it the old retreatment.
I think Crash Muldoon is such a cool card.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's kind of just like it's just like kind of straight power creep from like Silvertooth or something, but in other ways it's like it just adds a lot of like dynamism to the game.
Yeah, I think it just like it makes like it just makes your battle line a lot more interesting all the time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's just kind of like a nice interactive card. I'm glad that it's in Dark Tidings.
Yeah.
The design of Star Alliance and Worlds Collide is really impressive to me, in like multiple ways. I think it's like basically overpowered, but like at the same time, it's not a problem in the meta. But like when you look at like the individual card effects and stuff, yeah, I get to steal one. That feels good.
Yeah,
That
it
feels
does.
good.
You know, it does feel good. So I'll play Red Hot Armor here. I'm gonna Collar Subordination Uragung.
Sure.
I'm going to Charette. I'm going to Terror. And I'm going to discard this Arise.
I'm gonna play Sanctum. Deal one.
Yeah. The Kingdom
really
is premium, especially because like the final analysis and Grand Melees can keep a board clear.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
Shifting battlefield for a whole bunch of nothing. Choose to heal to gain one.
Healer Harm is also a pretty interesting card that just adds a lot of like interesting things to
Yeah. No, I mean it's I like the choice cards in Dark Tidings. I think it's a really interesting way to introduce essentially power creep without it being so powerful that you can't like compete with it, right? Like it's like because like the card effects can be essentially equivalent to something like Coda, but then like having two of them on a single card is just so good. And then like you take away the pip though, so that takes away like the power balance, which I think is a really fair trade. I think it was really nice card design, honestly. All right.
I'll call Dis here. And I'm just gonna reap. I'll play down a Snudge. I'll play down a Lash. I'll sauce it over.
Right. That's how it happens, folks, right there. That's the end.
That's the end.
That's it. It's the end of my Keyforge career. Gone. In an instant. Light of the Archons.
Oh wow, that's a Voltron Kinkin right there.
Yeah, I need you dead. Here. Let's do. Snudge needs to die.
Snudge.
One of these boys a damage each.
Cleansing Wave?
15 cards deep, no logos played. Stop it. Actually, stop it. I hate you so much.
It sounds like you're. It sounds like you see what's going to happen soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, what if I told you it's gonna happen this turn?
I figured, honestly.
Call logos. I'm gonna play Library Access. I'm gonna start off by playing Interdimensional Graft.
Oh my god, I damaged the fucking charrette. Oh, I hate myself.
I'm going to Anomaly Exploiter the charrette.
Oh no.
I'm gonna play Wild Wormhole.
Dude, I was trying so hard, man. Gonna make a fool of me.
And then I'm going to use your Anomaly Exploiter
in public
to kill your Kinkin. And then I'm gonna play Phase Shift. And then I'm going to play Hand of Dis for nothing.
That's your best Phase Shift target with 6 cards in hand?
It was. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything else, unless like maybe I just was blind at the time, but I'm pretty sure it was. And then everything else after it was other things. So then I'm gonna do you and
Oh god.
this as my archives off of Mobius Scroll. Yeah.
Well, we tried, folks. We really tried.
I think that was a very productive turn.
You think?
I think so, yeah. I don't know, maybe, there could have been better turns, probably.
God.
I will say this has been brutal, though. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay. We'll forge red. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't want to get ghostly handed.
Nah, that's fine. Oh man, no, that was brutal. Oh man,
that was. I
brutal. Told you, I'm just not getting the draws right now.
Like, no, yeah, it looks like you got real clunkers over there. It looked like.
I mean, like, my opening wasn't like great, but it wasn't so bad that I had to mulligan it. Like, it was one of those hands.
I will also say the opening on your deck felt really good.
Yeah, the early lash basically means you win against a deck that can't get rid of it. Like,
yeah,
like once that deck has the lash down, it's so good.
Yeah. And you never got to establish any board.
Yeah, I mean, it only has like 12 creatures, so the real trick of that deck, and I'm sure you're feeling it now that you're doing it, is like it has like 7 artifacts or maybe even more.
Mm-hmm.
And the Carlo Phantom and stuff, so it establishes board via its artifacts, more so than its creatures. Like the artifacts start doing that stuff, you know?
Yeah. I sort of noticed that in the when Carlo Phantom dropped the first game. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, that's really got to be a target.
Yeah. The other thing is like that happened in my game is I drew like every Logos card other than Library Access early. Like Library Access was the last Logos card.
Yeah, no, I did notice that. I was like, man, I was expecting a Logos turn, like a better Library Access to come out sometime.
Yeah, it just wasn't happening. I tried to draw it. I also used Poltergeist to desperately try to draw like a Collar of Subordination in order to check the turn that I did the Gateway. and or like something, you know what I mean? Like, or I had the opportunity to get a dust imp, a collar of subordination, or a snudge, or
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like any of that stuff, and it just like wasn't happening. But I think a similar thing happened in this game. Like my draw pile. So the stuff that I don't have: PI Sweven, Theory or Conjecture, Phase Shift, Golgotha, Zap,
Yeah,
Static Collection Array, and CR Officer Hawkins.
yeah. And I didn't see the set not the I didn't see the theory of conjecture either. Um, but man,
Yeah,
it was my that game I played like when I play the deck, that's way more what it usually feels like.
yeah,
It's generally pretty consistent in doing like what it does in the first game.
right.
So it's seeing it like you really did not like you got like super unlucky there with
I
it.
mean, maybe I wasn't playing it right, but it just
Maybe
felt like,
didn't look like you're doing all that bad from my end.
yeah. I don't know. Like I just like I feel like I mean the getting both file analysis. Like I didn't open either one, or maybe I opened one of them and drew the second one. I wanted to have an answer to like Carlo all the time,
Yeah, yeah.
but I just like didn't. Um, hmm. Well, it's 8:20. Do you want to play the chain game for fun, or do you want to call it a night? I know you wanted to wrap up a little early today.
Um, I think I actually will. I think we'll call a little bit early for tonight.
Okay.
It's been a really busy week for me, but I would like to discuss the potential chain bidding before we go.
Yeah. I'd bid on my deck, 100%.
Yeah, I think I would bid. I'd probably bid on your deck as well. I
Yeah.
think
No, I knew as soon as I lost game one, I'm like, oh my god. Because
Yeah.
Captain and is like, I mean, not that your deck isn't good, but Captain and I'm like, yeah. But I wouldn't take it crazy far. 4 or 5 chains tops.
Yeah, I would. I'd rather take my deck at like 4 or 5 chains than your deck at 4 or 5 chains.
Yeah. It's not by much. Like they're pretty even, but I like my deck better. Um. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, okay. Let me put it this way. I don't think that they're like actually even. I think that like, how do I say? I think that at a couple chains, like Captain, and once it puts chains on, like the chains feel really bad because it has like no board.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say yeah.
So like the chains affect it more heavily than most decks. And then if you were to get a board on it, I really only have like a small amount of answers.
Mhm.
So then the chains hurt even more. Like it's really like maybe like 3. It would be really hard for me to actually go to 4. I feel like it would actually give me a bunch of turns that really hurt. Um, but yeah, no,
As
I just had no answer to the Agungs early. Like you just had like the whole board, and I'm just like I can't do anything.
so I'll bring up I'll switch things here a bit because I think this is actually pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Just look at the SAS discrepancy of the deck because obviously we went through this. I didn't know the SAS of your deck. I doubt you knew
Mhm.
the SAS of my deck.
Yeah. What is the actual SAS on yours? Like
So the
60
SAS of
something?
mine is 62.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I was thinking from reading it. So, you know.
and I think it often performs. I think it often performs better than a lot better than a 62. Um,
Yeah.
it is one of the it is a deck that I very have frequently beat um 80s and stuff with.
Yeah. No, I mean
Um,
it's fast. It spits things out. Like I mean, it plays good Keyforge, and if you can't answer that board, you just lose.
exactly. Yeah. And so like often the decks it beats, like I said, like I've actually considered bringing this deck to the NKFL as well because basically like, but I don't think it does well in the NKFL meta because every single NKFL deck runs a ton of board clears or like board control,
Yeah.
but it has like against like heavy Infernus decks or anything like that. Um, I think that isn't necessarily controlling the board here and whatnot is usually it could just get like absolutely stomped. So this is Vault Warrior.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's a pretty interesting deck.
it is an interesting deck. I also think it's only 16 creatures. Um, but it's super board reliant.
Yeah, they're like unevenly distributed though, right?
Yeah, they
Like they're
are.
mostly in like Logo Star Alliance, so
They're
as far as
mostly
I
in
can,
Star Alliance.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like I've noticed that a lot about creature counts. Like if people are trying to evaluate their decks, like the number of creatures in a like if you can get an uneven creature distribution, that tends to actually be really good. I kind of get why it's good because you could spit them all out in one house and then like support them with actions, but like yeah, I think it just like ups the consistency of other things, and then especially in like Coda and also in Dark Tidings where like you can get a lot of good support actions and logos. Um,
absolutely.
that tends to work really well.
Yeah, I think it's also nice because like the PI 7s are quite threatening.
Yep.
And it's nice because like, oh yeah, they're quite threatening. They can do a lot. They can do a ton of work.
Even in two houses too.
But you don't need to go into logos very often to use them
Right.
because you have 3 house cheaters of Agung and Crash Muldoon.
Yeah.
And so like it's as long as you stick a Sweven and you have a Star Alliance board of some sort, you can. And that's also like why like your my hand can get huge and I'm still playing Star Alliance cards even though I only have like a 4 or 5 creature board out of like 3 or 4 Star Alliance creatures out like in the first game because like I keep getting to use Sweven if I'm allowed to,
Right.
which is nice.
Hmm.
And then you have Capitanen, which is a very good deck.
Yeah. I could talk about it a bit. I mean, I said a few things, but yeah. So the big thing for this deck in this kind of format. So if you go to the spider chart, you can see that it literally does every single game mechanic. Um, but it only does it like once. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it has the board clear, and it also has a collar. It has the hysteria. Um, if it can set up the board a tiny bit, like Asp can actually be really good. Mac the Knife. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
like where 14 is coming from. Like I look at those numbers and I'm aware that they add up to 14, but like a lot of them are like 0.5s. Like it's like okay, like
I don't know
um,
either.
because that just feels not right, you know.
I guess like
In terms of reflecting it,
it,
reflecting the actual, because like all those like kind of like fractional creature controls don't really add up to real creature control, right? Like Mac the Knife is not going to take anything off the board for you. Red Hot Armor is not going to take anything off the board for you.
I mean half of it
Uh,
is in Gateway.
right. Yeah, half of the. Well, it's 14, so a little
Oh,
less. But
slightly less than half, yeah.
yeah, but like
Like 47% or whatever.
Collar is huge. Like getting Collar. If you had just opened that Sweven and I had Collar, like I probably like win that game.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing, but I like kind of like wasted my hysteria. I opened the 2/2/2, but I had a lab work to do a little bit of archiving. So I was like, oh, I can put away the hysteria for an LA turn, or I could, you know what I mean? Like I thought it was a playable 2/2/2.
Yeah.
Because of the archive, but then you open Sweven, so I opened the hysteria, play a card, hoping to like draw into a non 2/2/2, and it just like
Yeah.
I never really got out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as the deck is concerned, though, like I think it's really good for this kind of format because it does every single game mechanic, but you need to be very careful about management of resources.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very hard to play. Setting up the library access is very challenging because you usually like you can set it up with the Mobius scroll and like use the double library of Babel and the Quixo to kind of get your hand larger. And then once you have that large hand, you can kind of go nuts with a really good library access. The wormhole and phase shift into you can go into like the Arise or the Hysteria to try to milk that a little bit. It's not like a ton of creatures there, but
Right.
the library access turn when you do get the archive via Mobius scroll is surprisingly potent.
Yeah, I bet.
And the reason that it's super potent is like one, like you play a lot and you actually like you just kind of once the artifacts are down, the deck is so thin, right? Like it has
Yeah, you've got 7 of them.
yeah, you have 7 of them, so it's like once they're down, you're sort of just playing like all the cards that are not artifacts are like really good cards.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, if you're using Dis, you can use Poltergeist to use your own artifacts during the LA. And then generally speaking, you have a whole hand of shadows when you're done the LA, and then you're just like ghostly hand, which you saw Murph do, and
Yes.
just bottom deck LA was really brutal when the board threats came, and I like didn't have the gateway soon enough.
Yeah.
And like the hysteria was used too soon, but I sort of had to. I don't know. Like, lots of thinking to do there in terms of how this deck operates. But yeah, I think it has the plus side of having like a lot of like weird rare cards. Like, it's got Evasion Sigil. It's got nobody knows how to play against Evasion Sigil. Like, it's amazingly relevant when people want to fight your stuff.
Yeah, it is.
They lose really good cards to it. Mobius Scroll, have a lot of issues with Mobius Scroll. One of the interesting combos that this deck can do is you can use Poltergeist on Mobius so that you're archiving like all logos during a Dis turn.
Yeah.
That can be really nice combo. And then just like maximizing that creature control stuff.
And then it
maximizing color, maximizing snudge.
And the Poltergeist doesn't blow up the Mobius Scroll either, right? Because it gets archived.
Yeah, so the Mobius Scroll goes to your archives, and then you have like 3 Logos cards stashed away for an LA, which can be really nasty.
Really
you can
nice.
also like phase shift into a Carlo Phantom to like steal and then like slap them all back down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the combos that it is capable of are really, really impressive. So, but yeah, no, I mean sometimes it can just lose when somebody puts out a really nice board, like something like Murph's is like, well, I'm gonna reap for 6, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like sometimes that can just happen when you draw dead. Like it just is what it is.
I'm just gonna keep using Star Alliance.
Yeah.
Until you stop me.
I had no answers until I got Gateway, and Gateway was low. Gateway was low in the deck as well.
Yeah, and you had 13 chains.
At the very end, yeah, I just wasn't drawing new cards. But by the time that I took a ridiculous amount of chains, it was basically like doing that instead of losing. I actually think the static collection array hurt you more than it helped you.
I'm sure it did. It's just really fun.
Oh yeah, no, giving somebody 13 chains is fun, but it's like, it's sort of like, you've heard of a win more card? That's like a win less card.
Well, because it often is, yeah, because like this deck only has one way to raise a tide, and that is Osterella Seaborg. Right. So it's not like it has free tide raisers. So oftentimes it doesn't actually want to play the static collection right, but it's a fun card because it does incentivize chains. But
yeah, with that, I mean that's what I got to say there, and I'll get you next time, so don't worry.
You will. You beat me 2-0 last adaptive.
You know what? I guess I deserved it then.
Yeah, we're just even now, Karen.
That's fun. I wish you were in Kagi because we could have a big showdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, just because this is I'll be in it next season, next in Kagi 7.0. Oh god, I just fell off my armrest. But I think just this season, I've got a lot going on. It was my first time being a tournament organizer for anything, so I just wanted to make sure I could give it good attention and just organize it.
Well, thanks to everybody for watching. We always have fun playing. It was a really fun match, actually. I had a lot of fun with those games, especially the end of Game 1. I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, Game 1 was a much more interesting game. I had a ton of fun with it. I enjoyed it.
Game 2, you just kind of smacked me around.
Yeah, Game 2 is a lot less of a game, but it was still very fun. I really enjoyed it.
I still had fun with both. Thanks. Yeah. I'll catch you all next week.
Sounds good. Have a good night, everyone. We will see you next week.